Today I have the pleasure of talking to Henry Schwartz, who's a global head of client engagement, data, and access solutions. Henry, thank you so much for your time here today.
Sure, I'm happy to be with you.
You know, I saw your panel, great panel, a lot of great questions about retail traders, so we'll dive into that. But for the folks that might not be familiar, give me some quick insights on what Cboe does.
Well, so Cboe is a global exchange operator, and we're probably most well known for the Cboe Options Exchange, which was the original options exchange 51 years ago now. And that's a trading floor in Chicago, and then also a hybrid electronic trading system. And on that floor in Chicago, we have SPX, the index options, which actually make up about a third of the daily dollar premium that trades in the U.S. options market. It's almost $8 billion a day that trades in that product.
I was talking to Dave earlier, and what was interesting to me was during COVID, when you guys had to go a bit more virtual, you actually saw like volume come in, trading, was increasing, different things like that. So I'll ask you some stats on that end. But let's talk about this event. We're at the Hood Summit 2024. You guys just announced a partnership with Robinhood. Why is it so important not just to have relationships with Robinhood, but also all your other retail broker platforms as well?
Well, over the last 7 or 8 years, retail access to the listed options market has exploded. I have the data on how much is being executed through these brokers. It's almost half of the daily option volume, and we're now at record levels of almost 45 million contracts a day. Wow. So retail now makes up a really important part of the business, and that's that it actually started really kicked up during COVID when you had the whole work from home dynamics, but it's persisted, and so. To partner with a retail firm and get them to introduce index options to their customers, that's there's a lot of advantages to that type of product, and it just kind of complements things that their clients are already doing.
Yeah.
And it also opens up a lot of new possibilities for kinds of trades that they might actually have a tougher time doing in the physically settled products.
Your title has data in it, so there's no way I can't ask you data-related questions. What are some insights you can give us, right? Like say at the opening of trading every single day, what type of traders are you seeing retail-wise? Like how much is in their brokerage account when they're trading? Like give me a little bit of nuggets here.
So we have really very good data in the SPX product, which is one of our proprietary products. And we actually are able to see that a burst of activity, a significant burst in that first half hour, and it's a lot of traders using small trade sizes, small capital commitments for zero-day options trades. So you may have heard of condor trading, which is basically a vertical call spread and a vertical put spread.
Yeah.
We see about 40,000 contracts a day in the first half hour, very consistently, because a lot of these customers are using these trades kind of as a quantitative strategy. They basically repeat it every single day. They may have some different approaches. They may skip Fed days and some of the days that might have different kinds of risk.
Yeah.
But it's very consistent, and this is brand new. These daily options have really only been around for basically 2 years.
Yeah. What type of other strategies are you seeing? Like, are you seeing a lot of call spreads? Is it more directional trading? Any other insights we can get from the type of strategies you're seeing from the data?
So, when we really look at the retail accounts, basically we're looking at small trades with less than $4,000 or $5,000 of capital required to do the trade, and using a vertical spread, you really can cap your risk, pretty small.
Yeah.
And in addition to SPX, we have a product called XSP, which is just SPX divided by 10. And so that's a notional size of about $547 at the index level. And in that product, we see from the retail side, we see outright option buyers, people putting on kind of tactical positions. And in fact, that was what I just demonstrated in the panel. And then we also see a pretty consistent amount of income strategies, basically people selling vertical spreads, so capped risk trades, and then attempting to kind of realize some of that volatility risk premium, which has been documented to exist in the market. It's not easy, but it is doable.
Well, speaking of volatility, you guys just a few days ago announced options on VIX futures. So VIX futures have been around for quite some time, but now you can trade options on those VIX futures as well. How's that been received by the retail traders?
So there have been some exciting developments in kind of that whole ecosystem of, really it's the volatility trading community. It obviously dovetails with the S&P 500, options as well. So we've had VIX futures and we've had VIX options on the cash index for almost 20 years now. The options on VIX futures are brand new, and what that brings two things to the market. One is there are accounts that are actually only permitted to trade futures products. So some of these commodities trading advisors is what they're referred to. So it actually opens up the product to that community. But the other thing that's important is we can do daily options in VIX when it's done in the form of options on futures, because then the settlement is much easier. You basically just settle right into VIX futures. And that's, I think that's kind of probably because we've seen such an explosion in short dated trading. That's one of the major draws.
Well, especially with you guys innovating in terms of, you had, like you said, 51 years ago, introduced options for the first time. Of course, then you had your leaps, your monthly options expirations, then the weekly. Then we went to Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Now you've got daily as well. So it looks like you guys are hearing what your retail traders are wanting, institutionals as well, and kind of providing them that. So that's exciting to see as well. Are there any other insights that you want retail traders to know about? Anything down in the pipeline? Anything that excites you that I haven't been able to cover yet?
I mean, I spend a lot of time looking at market quality, so really kind of how difficult it is for traders, both institutional and retail, to get into and out of trades. And as this market has evolved, and we're in a really sweet spot where there is still trading floor for kind of these large notional value institutional trades, but then for example in SPX, basically half of the activity is electronic, and in the 0-day contract specifically, it's like 95% electronic. And so retail has a very easy time getting in and out. Retail wants to trade electronically. I think this morning, Steve Quirk mentioned that Robinhood's one of the top brokers in the industry, and like over 90% of their activity is coming from people trading from mobile devices. So it's just an easy time to access the market, and the markets are very efficient. So customers are not suffering kind of due to the bid offer spread, which is when I started in the business, that was a big hurdle to overcome.
Last fun one for me. We talked about trading on your phone virtually, different things like that. I assume the pit though, back in Chicago, is still chaotic when it comes to trading.
Oh yeah, I mean the SPX and VIX are both pit traded products, in a hybrid system.
Yeah.
When it gets busy and when it gets crazy, absolutely, it gets loud. People are screaming. We saw that at the beginning of August, right? That was we had a rough couple of days, and that really is when the trading floor. That's when some of the people that say, we don't think this is necessary anymore, they realize, it's pretty important to be able to have a person to call who then has people to deal with that are providing liquidity and sourcing liquidity. And it remains a really important part of kind of the way the business works.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time here today.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. That is Henry Schwartz, who's a global head of client engagement, data, and access solutions for Cboe.